For a while, I've had this idea of just turning the end into the overworld and making kind of like a base there, but I haven't really gotten around to doing it for a while. My original idea was to like just make a huge village, but I realized it sounded kind of boring and it would only take like a day to do. Most of the time would just be put into placing all the grass. So I decided to kind of build like more of a medieval village type thing on this. At first, I wanted to just build it and then leak the chords, but now the base has gotten so big, it's not really something that I would just, give away to the griefers on 5B. So I think for the time being, I'm just gonna keep the bases my own, but maybe sometime in the future I'll leak the chords on Reddit and let you guys grief it. Now that I'm done placing all the grass, I've placed trees and bone mealed a lot of the land to make it look more like the overworld and to kind of be like the outside of the base. This first house that I built was supposed to kind of look like a house that I built at one of my older 2B bases, but it kind of just went all over the place with the white wool and the roof being all one block. But I like how it looks. Um, and this is what I end up basing a lot of other houses this village on. This next house I made was supposed to kind of be like a copy the first house, just with little details that are different, and I kind of like how it looks, but it's not my favorite that I built. Then, to kind of be like the city center, I built this big water fountain in the middle of all the houses. This next house I built, I kind of just winged it, only using white wool for the main blocks, but I'm still gonna keep it, but I definitely don't like it as much as I do some other buildings I have at the base. This roof that I built for this house is probably one of the most disgusting roofs I've ever built on any Minecraft house ever since I've started playing. It doesn't line up well. It looks so weird, especially with like the curvature of the base. I do really like this next one that I built on this barn that I made, but it's kind of simple and it's the same design I always use. This next house that I built is actually a diagonal house, and it's my first time building one of these in Minecraft, and it doesn't look too good, but I think I'm happy with it. This next thing I build is a watchtower, and I've used this design for many bases. I'll probably show a couple screenshots up on screen. But yeah, I felt like I should add one, and it kind of matched the theme too. The next thing I did was add kind of like a border around the base to set like how big the base was and where I would be building and when I would just leave like trees and terrain. You can also kind of see in the background like me building little structures that, I mean, it doesn't add too much, but I think without them the base wouldn't really be complete. I ended up building a lot more houses than I originally anticipated, and a lot of these are kind of just like filler houses that don't really serve a purpose, and are kind of just made to, make the base look bigger, I guess. And you can see me building them right here. Also, I'm sorry about like this chorus fruit in the way. When I like rendered this whole entire thing, I did not realize it, but there's like a chorus fruit directly in front of my camera path. Um, Sorry. So this next thing that I built is kind of like the last big building that I made, and it's supposed to be a town hall. It's incredibly detailed, and I got a lot of the inspiration from this picture off Google. But it only had the front, so I kind of had to just wing it for the sides. But I like how it looks. It's just kind of a bit overboard. This is my first time attempting to build a medieval ship, and I think it went pretty well. It could have been better, but I like how it looks, and I think it's just like a nice touch to the base. still have more plans for the base, so if this video does particularly well, I think I'm gonna add like maybe like another section on another end island, or you know, something like that. But for now, I'm gonna keep it like this. Thank you for watching, and bye. The last actual big build that I built was that's, why is it such a hard thing to say? The biggest, the last actual big build that I, the last actual big build that I built, big build that I, God.